I did hear it earlier when you were playing it, but I don't hear it now.
I turned it off when I was showing you the picture. That's why. Okay, let's start over then. Good thing I can cut this part out, right? Okay, you ready? Here it goes. Welcome to the Rebel Alliance briefing. Please visit our website, https://rabr.kailejohansen.us. There you can find links to send us feedback, connect to us on social media, or instructions on how to load the podcast onto your device. I'm Kyle John Johansson. This is Andrew Scott Sutton and Rick Ross Bosley. It's time to talk Star Wars. Time to talk Star Wars. Yeah, we don't have Scott. Scott said he had to work today, so if we would have started earlier, maybe he would have been able to get on, but
Yeah.
he probably wasn't going to anyway. So today we're reviewing Star Wars Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 10, called Identity Crisis. And this was definitely an interesting one. So today we're gonna do an unboxing, of course. Hopefully I can continue unboxing. And strange story. The first I was like a quarter till 4. I recorded these real quick, so boom, I did them like in 5 seconds.
Sweet.
Unboxings, and then we'll go through the episode and recap and discussion on that, and then we'll beg you for feedback. So we need lots of feedback. So you guys over there on the flag and the microphone, we need to hear from you. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is the unboxing, right? Now we have a special treat. It's unboxings. And I think this is right. See that?
Got it.
You'll be able to hear it here in a second when I push play.
That's a beautiful
So
box.
here's our unboxing. He's opening it. Yep. Look at that.
Such a
Okay.
sharp unboxing
How
tool.
slow?
Oh, what could it
Something.
be? I see an eye. I see
Hey,
two
got blonde
eyes.
hair. It's got blonde hair. Oh, it says, what does that say? There's Luke
Yo.
Skywalker. Ooh, what is that number? 633. Okay. Look at the
Woo!
side. Oh, nice. Look at that. This is the one where he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's got the toy that Obi-Wan gave him. Let's see if you can see it better that way. Let's look in the back. Yep, it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi Inquisitors in there, and then there's Ned that we did last week.
Ned.
That side. Ned. Yeah, 633. All right. Luke Skywalker. Oh, it says young Luke Skywalker. All right. Young. Number 633. That's that. So let me
That
stop.
looks cool.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool one, wasn't it? Let me switch this back. He's excited now. Yeah. All right. Let's share my sound. So yeah, that was exciting. Unboxing, yay. Well, that was Luke Skywalker when he was a kid in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Um, you'll have to see the one that's coming up next episode for episode 11. It'll be a good one. You'll
There's
like it.
another one.
Yeah, we try to do one every episode.
That's true.
All right, so let's get into the episode a little bit. Director was Saul Ruiz. Writer was Amanda Rose I can't say that now. Munoz. Edited by Matt Michnovetz. And of course, this musical score was done by Kevin Kiner, Sean Kiner, and Deana Kiner, the whole Kiner family. And the cast, we had, oddly enough, none of our Clone Force 99 was in this episode. Not even Omega, right? This episode
Crazy.
was all at the the base on Tanis, pretty
Yep.
much, right? There was a little bit outside of it. So we have several people that played a lot of the characters. The first one will be Ailish, Bayran, and a Nanny droid were all played by Shelby Young. And then, of course, there's some clone trooper stuff. So, Clone Trooper X, the guy that's in the gray looking black outfit, Commander Scorch with his fancy glasses, and one of the street vendors were all played by D. Bradley Baker. We got to see Cad Bane again. He's played by
Yeah.
Corey Burton. Cad Bane was in the Boba Fett, but he got killed. But this is before that time, so he got killed.
It was.
We had Dr. Royce Hemlock again, played by Jimmi Simpson. Emerie Karr, the other clone that's a female, played by Keisha Castle-Hughes. We briefly saw Governor Tarkin, played by Stephen Stanton. And then there was Nalo Say and Villager number 3 were both played by Gwendoline Yeo. And then we had the kids, the specimens, they called them, the subjects or whatever. SP32 and Jax, same person.
Mm-hmm.
Called Jax, but he was played by Ivan Sinitsin. I don't know how to say that very well. Sinitsin. Sinitsin. I don't know. And the other one was SP54, played by, and that was also Eva. That was played by Olwyn M Whelan. There was a third one, but I don't think it ever spoke or anything, so we don't have a person for it. And then Cad Bane's droid, the Todo 360, and also a villager number 2, played by Seth Green. You know Seth Green, right? That's Seth Green.
Green.
That's Seth Green.
That's Seth Green, huh?
Yeah. Stormtrooper number 1 and Villager number 1 will also played by Steve Bloom. So that rounds out our cast. And I'm going to take a sip of my beverage and we're going to play this commercial.
We are proud to welcome our latest sponsor, Juan's Cantina, where every first week of the month on the standard galactic calendar we celebrate what the ancients call Cinco de Mayo. Come join us at Juan's for the food, mariachi music, and 34 flavors of margaritas. That's Juan's Cantina right next to the Hangar 94 of Mos Eisley Spaceport. On day 2 of the week is Taco Tuesday. All tacos are half a credit each, and enjoyed with our house margaritas. Juan's Cantina also serves the galactically famous Dos Camarones Azul Cerveza, imported directly from Castle. Thank you again for our latest sponsor, Juan's Cantina.
Yeah, that's so Dos Camarones, that's blue shrimp beer.
Por favor, cerveza. Rapido.
Yeah. So, all right. So thank you, Juan's. We got to have a little Mexican in our life every once in a while. It's my wife's favorite go-to meal to go out to eat is Mexican.
See, senor. That's probably what we're going to do tonight.
Next time I'm in Tatooine, we'll have to visit Juan's.
Juan.
All right. So we're
He's
so
the
we're
Juan.
on the yeah. You'll visit him tonight. The Bad Batch season 3 episode 10 again is called Identity Crisis. It aired on April 3rd, not April Fools, but April 3rd, and was 25 minutes long. And we're still in the timeline of 18 before the Battle of Yavin, which again is always the Battle of Yavin is where the first Death Star blew up. So that means we need to grab our beverage and pull up a chair. And everybody join us in the Rebel Alliance briefing room. All right. I have to do something here because it's driving me nuts. So bear with me a second. All right. So this episode opens in a marketplace. A Talafar mother and Ailish, which is they look like they were owls, right? And the
Yeah.
little kid was an owl. She rests her force-sensitive infant, Bayran. So Ailish is the mother and Bayran is the child, and she's shopping for flowers. And Bayran is playing with the doll, and the doll somehow she throws it and it hits a vase and stuff, and the kid goes to pick it up and the vase falls over, and uh, one of those Aqualish merchants gets upset. Hey, what? That's money for me. Come on now.
You make it.
And the guy is called Arcona, and he blames the toddler. Uh, the mother, Ailish, comforts Bayran and scurries away, hoping not to pay, and doesn't pay. And Aqualish questions whether the toddler actually threw the vase, and Arcona insists that he saw the child throw the vase. Which did he throw it or did he not? Well, we don't know. All right.
Don't it?
I'm sorry. I moved the camera a little bit ago, and now it's blocking something. Okay, so as Ailish carries Bayran away, and Carolyn says the child is strange and gifted, and another villager warns of such chatter. Shh, don't. You could get us in trouble. The Empire is going to come and hear you or something. They got ears everywhere. The Aqualish remains behind and enters a building. He speaks into an intercom and says, "Hey, I've got something for a bounty hunter," and reports the child to the bounty hunter.
A tier 1 bounty hunter.
Tier 1, class 1, tier 1 bounty hunter. And that's sad, because now we know that child's in trouble. He's gonna be assimilated for his M count, right?
Yep.
All right.
Now
so meanwhile, back on the base at Tanis, we see Dr. Hemlock. He exits the vault to meet with Emerie and Scorch, the guy.
Scorch.
Yeah. Emerie reports progress in the lab and has basically stalled since Nalase has left. As she's being sequestered to her cell and not be able to leave. Hemlock says that Say cannot be trusted anymore, and Karr asks if he trusts her since she has worked by his side for years. She's going for a promotion, Rick.
She's trying to move up.
She's going for a promotion. She says she can help with the right clearance, so Hemlock reluctantly appoints Karr as chief medical scientist and proceeds to update her on Project Necromancer. Dun, dun, dun. What the hell's Necromancer anyway, huh?
What?
Oh, that's what it is. Hemlock leads Karr through the corridor that leads to the vault, with all the lasers and whatevers. He explains that the specimens inside are vital to Project Necromancer. The hell's that mean anyway, huh? How can they be vital?
I don't know.
Then he says they must be handled with the utmost care. Inside a circular chamber, she encounters 3 force-sensitive alien younglings, including a red-like Ayakochi, a green Marilyn, and a blue Pantaran, who have all high M counts. High M counts, not just normal M counts, but they're high. When Karr asks why they're testing children rather than adults, Hemlock explains there are very few force-sensitive adults left anymore. Children are easier to capture and manage. I guess it's easier to kidnap a child who is helpless, I guess, huh?
Well, and Darth Vader and the Inquisitors killing everybody, so
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
minor detail.
Another human scientist escorts the Ayatochi into a room where a medical droid extracts blood samples from the child. Hemlock explains that the M count cannot be directly replicated from the source. However, Nala Se knew about another way, thus helped Omega escape. So he's saying Nala Se knows another way to extract the M count and keep it viable. That's how it happened with Omega. Uh, so we got
That's
a kind of an explanation.
why he hasn't gotten rid of her, because she has knowledge still that he needs.
Yeah. Once they find Omega, she'll probably come back, or they'll torture her until she gives out the information or something. My guess is Nala Se is probably going to allow herself to be killed before she gives up the information.
My guess, yeah, I would agree.
He says that Omega's blood is the only binder that has proven to be compatible with their DNA to recreate the M count levels. He says that it is imperative that Omega be found and that they must be prepared for the scenario when she is recovered. Get ready. We're going to see it. While Hemlock speaks with Scorch, Karr speaks with the Ayatoshi child who likes her glasses. I like those glasses. They're pretty. When Karr asks what her name is, Hemlock orders her to limit her interactions with the children whom he regards as scientific specimens. They're not real people or anything. They're just specimens.
There's specimen P. I was trying to figure out the SP stood for. Specimen project, maybe?
I don't know. Or it could just be SP for specimen, too. I don't know.
Yeah, or special project.
Subject person 32. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. As Hemlock exits the chamber, he keys something into a data pad, and the Merlian child watches with interest. He's basically trying to memorize what he types in or whatever. There's a code he types in. All right, so back on the unknown planet, the Ailish plays with Bayran while feeding him. Ailish hears footsteps outside. You can see the shadows under the door there where those footsteps keep going by. And she places the child on the sofa with a doll to distract her while she fetches a shovel, I guess, to hit whoever with. And then the Duros bounty hunter, Cad Bane, stuns her mother with a blaster. So he breaks the door open, basically, and before she can hit him in the head. The Ailish is unconscious, and he orders the droid Todo 360 to bring a machine to test the Bayran M count. He extracts blood sample from the child and hands it over to Bane, who places a sample inside of a machine which glows green, and it has a bar that the count goes up or whatever. He says, "That'll do."
That's high.
That's high enough. That'll do. Todo places Bayran inside of a floating cradle. The child cries until they reunite him with the Toka doll. The two then depart, leaving the unconscious Ailish behind. Before leaving, Bayran pays the Ailish informant Bane. I said Bane. I mean Bane, not Balin. Pays the Ailish informant for his pittance. He kind of flicks a bunch of coins at him or something, right?
Yeah, it throws it at him.
He's just scum. Yes, scum. And the Ailish grumbles, of course, because he's got to pick it all up off the ground. He's like, "How rude! How rude!"
He probably got shorted too.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't put it past Cad Bane.
Yeah.
All right, so back on the base, Dr. Karr oversees a droid collecting blood samples from the Ikochi child who greets Karr. When Karr addresses the child as SP-54, the Iotish introduces herself as Eva and asks what her name is. Karr introduces herself as Dr. Karr. When Eva asks about Mistress Nilose, Karr responds that she is no longer overseeing this project. Eva asks why. Why? And Karr says that it's not her concern and says that Nilose promised that she would find out when she's going home and asks Dr. Karr if she can find out for her. Karr says she will look into it.
Sure, kid.
So Nilose is kind of, telling them they get to go home and stuff.
Liar.
And then Karr attends to the Myrlian child who is named SP-32. While Karr is distracted with the data pad, SP dodges around the medical droid and grabs Karr's data pad. He runs out of the lab, and officials stationed in the upper tier of the vault lock down the room. Alarms go off. Wait, we hear something like this. What does it sound like? Yeah, something like that. And red lights flash and all that. And so he attempts to unlock the door with the data pad, but the controls don't work because they were too fast and locked the room down. Karr and two medical droids corner SP-32, and she tries to calm him down, but SP-32 is determined to escape and says that's not his name. He says that he's told he could go home. I said he could go home. I want to go home. E.T. phone home. Yeah. Three commandos, including Commander Scorch, enter the vault with their blasters set on stun. Karr says that such force is not necessary. The Myrlian spots a door and attempts to flee, but is stunned by Scorch. Pew, 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 pew.
That's Scorch.
I'm going to have to get a bobblehead of Scorch. He's a pretty popular guy.
He's kind of a dick.
All right, escaping and Karr criticizes Scorch's actions as extreme. The commander responds that SP-32 was trying to escape and that he was complying with protocol. While two medical droids attend to SP-32 and extract a blood sample, Eva asks Karr if Jax is all right. Karr reassures Eva that Jax will be fine. Eva asks if Jax is in trouble, and she says that he is not in trouble and that she can see him tomorrow. While looking over Eva and the Pantorian, the other child, Karr looks visibly uncomfortable. She's like, I don't know. These are kids. Come on, man. It's not cool.
Conscious is coming up.
Yeah. Later, Karr visits Nilose in her cell, seeking questions about the Tantus vault. Nilose realizes that Karr has assumed her role. Uh-oh. When Karr asks about the children, Nilose says that the Galactic Empire will keep them in order to control them. Nilose agrees that the children do not belong on the Tantus base, but says she had no choice. Nilose says that she had to protect Omega, because Omega is the one they're looking for. When Karr asks about the other children, Nilose replies that she did what she could and tells Karr they will look to her. She asks Emerie about what she's going to do. When Karr says she's powerless to do anything, Nilose asks her to reconsider. Karr exits the cell and encounters Dr. Hemlock in the corridor. Uh-oh. Was he listening? Hemlock informs her that Commander Scorch will be departing to pick up a new specimen. Oh, a new one. We're going to have another child in there. Aware of Jack's attempt, Hemlock reassures Karr that the latest acquisition will not be a danger to her. Karr volunteers to accompany Scorch to ensure that the specimen is handled carefully. Hemlock is initially reluctant, but relents after a stormtrooper informs him that Governor Wilhelm Tarkin requests the doctors contact him at once. Well, he's in trouble.
Getting called to the principal's office.
Yeah, the principal's office. All right, and immediately in his office, Hemlock speaks via holoprojector with Tarkin, who informs him of a growing concerns about the impact that the Tanis facility is having on Imperial resources. After being asked for the reasons of his new summons and asked why additional funds have been diverted to Tanis facility, Hemlock says the additional funds are for a project that is of personal interest to Emperor Palpatine. When Tarkin inquires about the project, Hemlock says that it is classified. You don't even have clearance.
Ooh.
Nobody does, just me.
Just me.
Just
I'm
me.
important.
I'm a big guy. With Hemlock being evasive by claiming the additional funds were what's required and is worth being spent, but not of some personal assistance from Governor Tarkin. When he offers that he wants to see the project and he wants to see some results, Tarkin corners the chief scientist by secretly warning him that he better hope that it does, because if the project fails to wield the Emperor's proper results, it will not be a good omen for the Imperial cloning program and himself. So Tarkin's giving him a threat. He says, you better perform. I don't know what you're performing, but you better perform it. Better do it right. Heeding Tarkin's discreet warning, the Imperial cloning program and his life are at risk if Project Necromancer's goals are not accomplished. Hemlock immediately contacts the clone assassin CX2, because one of them was killed at one time. So this is the second one they dispatched, who has recently tracked down and interrogated a Transdojian broker named Sid. Oh, Sid. Sid sounds familiar. Sid's given up the pirate name Omega has been associating with. Hemlock warns that Hemlock warns that the other operatives are not ready, and CX2 insists that he can handle the matter on his own. Hemlock reminds him of past failures and warns him not to return without Omega. And by the way, she has to be alive. And the next thing we see is Emerie Karr is with Commander Scorch and a detachment of stormtroopers as they travel to a space station above Coruscant to rendezvous with Cad Bane. Ooh, they're pretty close to the capital, Coruscant. That's kind of scary. When Bane remarks that Karr is not the usual Imperial he deals with, Karr says that she is here to examine the specimen and that nothing else is his concern. No. Todo, the droid, 360 droid, says he brings out the toddler Bayran in a floating cradle. Not unlike Grogu. Anyway.
Yeah, a lot of similarities there.
Karr tests the child, and a stormtrooper pays Bane. I said stormtrooper. That's funny. When Karr asks Bane how many force-sensitive individuals he's captured, Bane replies that he is good at his job, and it's done well for him. Karr tests confirms that Bayran is force sensitive, so he's captured quite a few force sensitive people. When Karr asks where the child came from, Bane is evasive. Bane and Todo then depart on their ship, and Karr takes the toddler into custody. And she kind of looks uncomfortable again, because probably it's even a smaller child. She's
Younger.
not really good with that. Back on Tanis base, the medical droid collects another sample from Bayran, and the droid tells Karr that the child is acclimating well. When Karr asks about SP-32, the droid says that the subject has been placed into solitary confinement for 2 rotations for his punishment. Karr attends to Eva, who says Karr lied about Jax not being punished. You lied to me.
Liar.
Not. And now I just want to go home. Send me home. I'm lonely and my parents are probably dead anyway, but I'm lonely. Karr later compares the child's blood samples with Omega in Nalase's lab. She also finds Omega's Tuca doll as a consolation and gives the Tuca doll to Eva. Karr watches anxiously from the upper tier in the Overwatch area, and then the credits roll. Credits roll. So that's our episode. It was an interesting episode, I thought. What did you think, Rick?
It was good. I don't know.
Not a lot of action though.
No, and it was like, okay, we spent an episode on this when we could have probably piecemealed this out a little bit, but that's kind of my thought on it. So it makes me think that something's coming because they threw this boring thing in. So
Right. Something big's coming.
Yeah, because this was just kind of all of the stuff that they did was stuff that could have been added, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here in the last 9 episodes.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah, for some reason, I mentioned it before in passing, but every episode so far has been about 25 minutes. So they purposely cut them up to be the same length and stuff, and
yep.
planned it out like this. Like you said, this episode could have been, over the last 4 episodes, pieces of this could have been put in.
Yeah. And that's probably by design. We just don't know what the design is yet.
Yep. So, yeah, I thought it was, like you said, it was, I don't know if it was necessarily boring to me, but it was interesting to see other subjects. We have never really, we had suspicions, but we haven't really seen anything. I've always thought a lot of what we were told already when we went into the vault, that there was, it was just blood samples, or it was, not live specimens and stuff. Yeah. So that was interesting to see too.
And we kind of get a connection with Grogu in the, when he comes in that little pod or whatever, and the doctor, in the first episode or first season, when he's in the pod and the doctor's there. So we know he's had some testing of some sort done as well.
Yeah. And there's rumors out there too about that, where they're trying to tie this episode into Grogu more, and I read several of the articles about it, and I don't buy the tie-in, besides the fact that there's similarities that we've seen. But they're saying basically that they think that Grogu was experimented on Tanis, which he could have been, but he was also, they had that other Jedi, he escaped from the temple at the time that Darth Vader was attacking the Jedi temple, which is right at the Clone Wars and all that stuff started and whatever. So I don't think the time and everything add up, because Grogu was already at the temple being force sensitive before this timeline. You know, we're talking like 9 or so before the Battle of Yavin, or not 9, 20 something before the Battle of Yavin, which is before where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think it lines up. But
we
they
don't
could.
know. Maybe Grogu is the one that started it.
Yeah, he could have been captured later on. But from what we saw in the well, I think that was, yeah, it was definitely the Mandalorian, but it was the scenes we saw, you know, he was being rescued and sent out across the Jedi Escape Network, or whatever they called that.
Yeah. Was that
So
when we saw him though? Was that actually in the Mandalorian, or was that more of Boba Fett? I don't
I don't know.
remember.
They were kind of mixed together there for a while, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Could have been Boba Fett.
You know, it was like, because it even floated and opened and had the pod, and there was definitely a implied, you know, you make the connection between dot A and dot B.
Yeah, a little bit of that. All right, so let me push this button real quick. Yeah, so if you agree with what we say, or if you don't agree, or if you got other opinions, please send us some feedback. And we've got an email address, feedback@kylejohansson.us. You can go to our website and click on the link for feedback, and that'll give you a form to fill out, and you send that to us. We're on Twitter, or X as they're calling it nowadays. The kids are calling it X. At super_duper_pod. We're on the other social network called Blue Sky, at Rebel Alliance Briefing Rooms, all one word. And we upload both audio and video to YouTube now, and you can put comments there on YouTube. So we look forward to all of that. Wow, it looks like Rick got disconnected right there. So
Am I gone? What?
You went away. Your video went away. At least you lost video connection.
Yeah, hold on.
But so while you're getting back in there, I'm gonna push the button again. Back, yay. Here he comes back.
Hey, dude. I don't know what's going on. My phone was like here, and now it's gone.
There you go. You're back.
Weird. I'm back.
Any other comments or anything? I know it's hard because we got another episode, so you don't want to say stuff from there.
I thought this was one that it was an episode that I'm going to be really disappointed if stuff doesn't happen down the road that could have been, put into other episodes. But
kind of like the last one too, right? The one before it.
Yeah. And I guess maybe that's probably by purpose, by design, trying to, get us set up, because stuff could happen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and the next one has an interesting title too. I just want to say it before we end here. It is called Point of No Return, which spoiler alert here, but I don't think the title matches up with this episode. So
yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Exactly. So let me then do the outro, which I haven't redone yet, so it's gonna be the old one still.
Thank you for listening to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansson.us. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at rabr.kailejohansen.us. This podcast in no way is approved, sponsored, or owned by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. All opinions are solely owned by Kyle and or Scott and in no way express the views or opinions of their past or present employers. Views and opinions are not supported or restricted by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or any or other use of this podcast and its affiliate sites without consent of Super Duper Podcast Network and its host is prohibited. I am Kyle Johansen, and this is Andrew Scott's.
No, it's not.
Say goodbye now.
It's Rick. It's Rick instead. We're gonna get that fixed too. So don't know if anybody noticed, but we redid the intro a little bit. It's a little bit shorter and it's got everybody's names in it, so we don't have to correct ourselves every time. So we'll see you for the next episode, which aired on the same day.
We'll be
Bye.
back. Shortly.
Just gonna